Yeah, hi guys. Hey, I want to talk to you about some measuring tools today with the objective of completing a unit standard on measuring at level 1. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to fill out 6 of these task sheets, similar to the type that the Year 12s fill out. So you've got a few resources. These here are help sheets, and these help sheets have got information that will help guide you through the task sheet that you fill out. Also, you're going to have this video that you're going to watch, which is going to help you, which is on our OPES Engineering website. So, filling out your 6 sheets, the tools you're looking at is a rule, a tape measure, thermometer, a mass balance, stopwatch and thread pitch gauge. So let's make a start. We want to have, first of all, look at these tools. We're going to name them, what type they are, their uses, their range and accuracy, damage and storage requirements. So we'll start off with a ruler. So rulers, steel rules, they're all measuring devices. They're used to measure widths and gaps and lengths, and you've used them for making your project. The next thing is talking about the range and the accuracy. Well, the accuracy of the ruler is what you do is you look at the smallest division there. I hope you can see that. That smallest division is 1 millimetre, and on this side here it's 0.5 millimetre. So we would say that the accuracy for the ruler would be plus or minus 1 millimetre, or plus or minus 0.5 millimetre. And that's where, if you have a look here, that's where you can see the smallest division being 1 millimetre, and in this case 0.5 millimetre. So that's the accuracy. They range in lengths. These guys here range in lengths from 100 millimetres long, little small short rulers, to bigger ones which are 1 metre long, right up to 3 metres long. Huge rulers. Never seen one, wouldn't like to buy one. Let's have a look next at the tape measure. The tape measure here is used for measuring lengths and widths. The great thing about the tape measure is the portability of it and the quickness in which you can use it, measure great big long lengths and then put it away for storage. And here the smallest division once again is just 1 millimetre, so the accuracy in this case is plus or minus 1 millimetre. Now if we're talking about the range of tape measures usually range from a few metres long right up to 8 odd metres long. Now you can find that information when you look in here, and you can see the range of lengths that tape measures can measure. So use this help sheet for that. The next one, the thermometer. So here we've got a thermometer. Now thermometers are not used to measure temperature. They are used to measure temperature. They're not used to measure heat. So they measure temperature. And if you have a look here, once again, let's go to the smallest division. So here we've got 0 here, going right down to -10, and there's 10 divisions there. So the smallest division is going to be 1 degrees C. So that's going to help you with working out the accuracy of it. The range, it ranges from -10 right up to 110. So that's range and accuracy for a thermometer. Let's look at a mass balance over here. So have a look at this. A mass balance is used for measuring small masses in grams. The first thing we'll do is we'll turn it on. The next thing is zero it, and this one happens to find itself on 0. And if you look at the smallest division down here, we can see it'll be 0.1 of a gram. So that's the smallest division, so that's the accuracy. The range of this thing, if you keep going up, reaches around 370, 380, which is going to be this here. If you have a look there, the maximum is 500 grams. So it ranges, it can do a range of measurement from nothing up to 500, and there's the accuracy in there. All right, so that's the mass balance done. We want to now have a look at the stopwatch. So here's the stopwatch here, and we can see if we have a look at the numbers on this one here, because they're bigger, 10626. Let's have a look what that really means. So the 10626, I should have put a 6 there. I'll chuck that in now. 10626. So what this is this is the point here. So this is 0.26 of a second. That'll be a tenth of a second, and that'll be a hundredth of a second. So the accuracy of one of these tape measures is plus or minus 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second. Now what about the range for this thing? Now you see this one here, that there is minutes. Well, that can only ever get up to 9. So that'll be 9, and this will be 59 seconds, and that will be 99.99 of a second. So basically you're looking at 10 minutes. So the range for this thing is from 0 up to 10 minutes for a stopwatch. So that's that. So this here, this actual measurement reads 1 minute, 6.26 of a second. So that is the stopwatch. Next thing, thread pitch gauge. This thread pitch gauge is used to measure the pitch of a thread. So when you look at a thread, you can see these little crests here of these pointy bits, and that's these bits of the thread like that. Now between one top of one to the top of the other is called the pitch in millimeters, and we can use a thread pitch gauge to actually measure it. So the pitches on this here, the accuracy, we have no accuracy because it's just basically it fits or it doesn't fit, but the range is 0.4 to 7 millimeters. So we can get this huge thread pitch here where the distance from there to there would be 7 millimeters. And of course for this little fella right down the end here, this pitch here, for this one would be 0.4. And they're usually written on them. So that's a thread pitch gauge used to measure the pitch of a thread. And the whole purpose of this thing is for working out the size of a bolt. So to work out the size of a bolt, you measure the diameter with, say, a vernier. And if we had, say, an M10 bolt, we'd measure the diameter and it would be 10 millimeters. Then you use the pitch gauge and you'd measure the pitch, and let's say the pitch came out to 1.5. You'd write that down. And then the last measurement is the length. And the length is from the shoulder of the bolt to the end, and that's length in millimeters. So this is a 10 mil diameter bolt with a pitch of 1.5 and a length of 25. Now there's a video on the website about using a thread pitch gauge. Make sure you see it. It'll help you with your work that you're doing. All right, so let's go back over here. So we've done typical, we've done name, we've done type, we've done usage, we've done range and accuracy. Now we'll look at damage and storage. So the damage with a ruler, of course, is the scale can get rubbed off. And of course this is stored on the shadow board. The tape measure, what can happen there, the case can get cracked, the hook at the end can become loose, and this one is nice and solid at the moment. The scale can rub off, and of course if you don't look after them, the tape can actually get broken and actually break. A thermometer, and we store that in our toolbox or our shadow board in the classroom. A thermometer, so what we do here is the typical damage is basically it can get broken because it's made of glass, and the scale can get rubbed off, and the liquid can end up getting separated. That's damage to this thing, makes them pretty useless. And these get stored in a plastic tube to stop them getting damaged. Make sure that when you store them, you keep them well onto a table, not near the edge of a table where they can get knocked off. Tape measures, stopwatches. Stopwatches, typical damage and deterioration is the case can get broken, the screen can get broken, the buttons can come off, the string can come off, and the battery goes flat. That's what happens with stopwatches. And they get stored in a special stopwatch case. Electronic balance, what can happen there is the top pan can come off, the cord can get damaged to our balance, and also the plastic body can get broken. So we've got a top plate here, a plastic body, and a screen can get broken. So that's what can happen, and it gets stored in a nice soft padded plastic container. That's where it gets stored. The thread pitch gauge. What can happen with this? The damage is pretty simple. The blades here, these are called blades. They can get rusty. Little knobs can come off, and they can lose the knob, the shaft, and all these here can get lost. Other damage that you can have is the surface can get all rusty as well. And it gets stored in a wallet like this. So a thread pitch gauge, when you finish with it, it gets stored in a little wallet. One last thing before I finish here, we'll just do servicing and repair. Clean with a dry rag and lightly oil it, check that the knobs are not loose, and store it in its wallet. Clean it with a dry rag, and that's basically all you can do with that. And if it's a battery powered one, replace the batteries. Service and repair, clean with a dry rag and check the string's still on it and replace the battery. Thermometers, clean with a dry rag and put it away. That's how you service and repair one of those. Clean the tape with a dry rag, especially if they get wet, pull them out and make sure you wipe them with a dry rag to take any moisture off, and store it away. And rulers, clean those with a dry rag and store them away correctly. You don't have to oil them because these are all stainless steel rulers. And that concludes the first part of our video.